Right. So we're looking at simplifying expressions, as I was saying. When we want to simplify something like this, we have brackets involved. So we need to multiply the number outside of the bracket by the contents of the bracket. Now you notice with this one here, I circle the positive sign in front of the 3. Because the sign that is to the left of the number belongs to that number. So this is a positive 3 multiplied by a, as well we're going to be multiplying positive 3 by negative 1. So if I expand these brackets, what I'll get is 2a. 2 by a will give me 2a. 2 by positive 3 will give me plus 6. Plus 3 by a will give me plus 3a. A plus by a minus. You should always try to practice working out your sign first, and then the number part, then the letter part. Plus by a minus will give me a minus. And 3 by 1 will give me 3. So remember your rules for multiplication. A plus by a minus will give us a minus. A minus by a plus will give us a minus. Anytime the signs are different, we're going to get a negative value. Anytime the signs are the same, we get a positive value. Right? The same thing happens to division. Right? So a plus divided by a minus will give us a minus. A minus divided by a plus will give us a minus. If we do a plus divided by a plus, we get a plus. If we do a minus divided by a minus, we will also get a plus. Right? So that's the roots. So we're coming back on this side here now. After we expand our brackets, the next thing we need to do is to rearrange this by grouping similar items together. Now, I notice sometimes when I rearrange the formula, people just change the signs. The signs don't change when we simplify expressions because we're not moving anything across different sides of our equation, right? So because of that bit of confusion, I'm not going to rearrange. I'm circling and I'm joining the terms together so you'd see what it is you're going to add or subtract. So I'm using different colors. So 2a plus 3a going to give me 5a. And plus 6 minus 3. If I have a plus 6 minus 3, 6 is the larger number. So we keep in the sign of the larger number. Then subtract. So keep the plus sign, and 3 from 6 will give me 3. So my answer that I write in here, you see how we work out the sign that had to come here one time, we're going to get plus 3. Everybody clear on that? Yeah, everybody clear now? All right. So I just want to add one other example as you're already on the expanding brackets. Let's say I have minus 3x minus 4 and a minus 2 by 2x plus 5. Right, let's work this one. So again, I'm circling because I'm multiplying the number outside the bracket by the contents inside the bracket. Now you can put an equal sign outside here, right? On the outside. Now based on what we just talked about, a minus here by a plus. So we're working out, we're doing sign, number, letter or variable, right? I keep it simple, we just say letter. A minus by a plus going to give me a minus. 3 by 1, it understood that we have a 1 in front of this x here. Any letter by itself is 1x or 1y or 1e, right? So 3 by 1 going to give me 3. And then we just have a x here, so we drop in up. A minus by a minus going to give me a plus. 3 by 4 going to give me 12. So you see how you're working out the sign? A minus here by a plus giving me a minus. Just like that. Right. A minus by a plus giving me a minus. 2 by 2 giving me 4x. Minus by a plus here giving me a minus. And 2 by 5 giving me 10. So that's our first step. The next thing we look into now is the group. We group in similar terms together. So if both of them express in terms of x, it means we could add those two together or subtract, depending on what we have in front of us. So I'm connecting these two because those are x's, and I'm connecting these two. These two are numbers. You see how I'm circling it with the sign in front of the number, right? The sign in front of the number belongs to that number or that term, right? We're not changing any signs here. This is not solving equations. We're simplifying. So now, look at this, right? We have minus 3x minus 4x. Both of them have the same sign. So when both of them have the same sign, this is not multiplication or division here, right? We're keeping that minus sign and add the two numbers. Because think about it, right? I think in terms of money. If minus means you're owing. If you're owing more $3 and then you borrow $4, now you're going to be owing $7 in total. Follow? So we're going to write here a minus 7x. Then we have plus 12 minus 10, which is similar to what we had above. If I have plus 12 minus 10, we take any sign of the larger number. We have different signs here now. Right, so keep sign of larger number. And subtract. Right, so you keep any plus positive sign, and 10 from 12 will give me 2. So you get plus 2. Everybody right to this? Give me a thumbs up if you're okay with this. So this is expanding your brackets. Right? One more simplification there. So on our little sheet, the other problem we have is this one. Minus 3y plus 4y minus 2y. So the good thing about this is that all of them are expressed in terms of y. So we could add all the terms here because we have like terms. You could only add or subtract like terms. And when we say like terms, they have to be expressed with the same variable. So if it's a y, all of them had to have y in order for it to add it. It can't be one with a y and the other with a y squared. That's two different terms, right? Now, when we have three terms like this, the best way to approach this is to add in pairs. Starting from your left and go across to your right. Just like how we would read from left to right. Right? So we're working it out in pairs. So I have negative 3y plus 4y. This is different signs. Right? So we keep in sign of larger number. And subtract. Cool? So if I keep the positive sign from this 4 and subtract 3 from 4 will give me 1. We could just write y. And then I will bring down the negative 2y now because we didn't use it. We was just doing them in pairs. Next up now, same different, but different signs again. Same thing happening again. So you keep any sign of the larger number. The larger number in this case is the negative 2. So we will get minus, and this is a 1y. We don't need to write the 1 in front of the y. 1 from 2. If you have $2 and I take $1 from it, then you remain with $1. So negative y is our answer. All right, let's do one more example and then we'll move on. So let's say I have 2x plus 3y minus 5x plus 16y. Now we have two different terms inside of this expression, right? We know this is an expression because there are no equal sign. You don't have a left and a right hand side, right? You have a number of terms grouped or collected together. So we could work similar or like terms. The x's could work together. Again, if you want, circle them so that you'll understand or you remember the sign in front of the term is the sign that you're using. It belongs to that term. So 2x minus 5x. I think you have the hang of this by now. We keep any sign of the larger number. So you get minus 2 from 5 will give me 3x. And then if we do the 3y plus 16y, both signs are the same. So we could keep that sign, which is plus, and add 3 and 16 and get 19y. Is everybody right with that? Multiple thumbs up if you're okay with that. All right, so let's look at this practice question. We're doing 4 here by 2x. That's going to give us positive 8x. 4 by positive 3y, everything positive, right? So you're going to have plus 4 by 3 is 12y. On this side, we have a negative 3 multiplying by a positive 6x. So a minus by a plus going to give us a minus 3 by 6 going to give us 18x. Right? You see how I break it up into parts, right? Minus by minus, here's a plus. 3 by 8 is 24y. Then we group in. If you want, you could just connect them like this. Oops. Circle them off, pay them off like that. Could write down. So one time, I have 8x minus 18x. 18 is a bigger number, so it means my answer is going to carry the sign from the 18. So it's going to be negative. 8 from 18 will give me 10x. Then the next thing I'm doing here now is 12y, positive 12y, plus 24y. Now I give me plus 36y. The more thumbs up if you were that. Yeah? Nice. Good job, guys. So next we're going to talk about substitution. So this is the second objective on our list for today, right? So moving forward. Now, substitution is exactly as the name implies. What we're doing is we are usually given in the question values for x, y, and z. So here, or whatever variables you have. In my example here, I have x and y. So x is equal to 2, y is equal to negative 3. Now, if I tell you, if you're given x is equal to 2 and y is equal to negative 3, find or evaluate. Right? Evaluate means to work out. 2x plus 3y. This is what is happening. These values of x and y will be replaced by the numbers it was given in the question. So I'm replacing this x with a 2. I'm replacing this y with a negative 3. And I'm putting back the things that I had above. So now we don't have any letters again. That's why they say evaluate, because we could work out a number value for this expression if we say x is 2 and y is negative 3. 2 by 2 will give me 4. Positive 3 by negative 3. This is different to what we was doing with adding and subtracting before, because now we have a bracket here which implies multiplication. And our rules for multiplication says a positive by negative is a negative, a negative by a positive is a negative. Anytime the signs inside and outside the bracket is different, we will get a negative answer. Right? And if the inside and outside is the same, we get a positive answer. Right? So remember that. Positive by negative here means that we're going to be getting a negative value. And 3 by 3 going to give us 9. So 4, take away 9 now. We're going back to adding and subtracting. No multiplication here again. 9 is the bigger number. So I have to keep the sign of the 9 and subtract 4 from 9, and that will give me 5. Negative 5. Everybody understand that? No thumbs up if you're okay with that. Yeah? All right. Next question. Using those same values for x and y. X is 2, y is equal to negative 3. Let us do x squared. Evaluate. X squared minus y squared. Right? X squared minus y squared. We're going to get 2 squared. We're replacing the x with a 2. And we're replacing the y with a negative 3. Now, what does square mean? When we square something, we multiply it by itself twice. We're doubling, well, not doubling, because that would imply multiplying by 2. You're multiplying it by itself, right? So 2 squared will give me 4, and minus 3 squared It's not going to give us a minus answer. This is minus 3 multiplied by minus 3. This will give us plus 9. So I'll put that in a bracket, right? Because the 9 is positive, but we have a negative sign here. So that comes back to the same thing we have up here. A minus by a plus is going to give me a minus. And the answer for this is also going to be negative 5. Everybody all right with that? Give me a thumbs up if you're okay with that. All right.